Have you ever wondered if fate can be changed, or if we are forever enslaved by ancient curses?
What would happen if one day you ate an animal and its spirit possessed you, turning you into itself? Imagine one day you woke up feeling like you were no longer yourself.
A wild instinct arose. A primitive desire growled in your chest.
Everything started from a dream about a sacred tiger.
Our story begins in a small village deep in the valley, at the foot of majestic mountains, where the old forest covered like a mysterious curtain.
There was a hunter named Hung. Hung was famous throughout the region not only for his hunting skills, but also for the greed hidden in his eyes. He was constantly hungry for bigger prey, more valuable spoils, despite warnings against trespassing into the sacred forests, where the spirits of ancient gods and beasts were said to dwell.
One day, Hung, with his old bow and sharp knife, ventured deeper into the forbidden forest.
The smell of damp soil, the rustling of leaves, and the sunlight peeking through the gaps between the leaves created a space that was both quiet and full of danger. Hung knew he was entering a place no one had ever dared to go, but his greed and desire to conquer overshadowed all his fears.
Then he saw it.
A tiger, not the ordinary tiger he usually hunted. This tiger was enormous. Its golden fur was like gold in the afternoon sunlight. Its eyes were as fiery as two rubies, and its majestic aura was terrifying. It was the legendary tiger god, the guardian spirit of the jungle that people still pass down to each other.
Hung was both terrified and fascinated by its beauty and power.
A primitive instinct urged him to conquer, to possess that power. The confrontation was fierce. The tiger god was not inferior. It roared loudly, as if to warn any mortal who dared to touch it.
Hung, with the experience and cunning of a veteran hunter, used every trick, every most sophisticated trap. He struggled, avoiding the fatal pounces, the wind-splitting scratches. Sweat poured out like a stream. Blood flowed from small wounds. Finally, after a seemingly endless battle, Hung defeated the tiger god. Panting, he looked down at the great creature lying motionless at his feet, a feeling of extreme triumph rising up.
But Hung's greed did not stop there.
He did not just take the skin and bones to sell for money.
A crazy thought flashed through his mind. If I eat this tiger, I will absorb its strength, bravery, and spirit. I will become the strongest.
Despite the warnings about offending the spirit of the green forest, Hung decided to carry out that barbaric intention.
Right in the deep forest, under the dim moonlight, Hung created a terrifying feast. The smell of blood and grilled meat spread in the still air, like a challenge to the gods.
He felt like he was becoming invincible, as if he had swallowed the power of the king of the jungle.
After the savage feast, Hung fell into a fitful sleep, exhausted.
That night, in his dream, he saw the tiger again. But this time, it was no longer lying motionless at his feet. It stood tall, many times taller, its eyes red as burning coals, staring straight at Hung with utmost hatred and anger.
The tiger god slowly roared, a roar that echoed throughout the space, penetrating Hung's heart. You have eaten me. You have taken my life and my being. Now, you will become me. You will live the life of a cursed person, carrying within you the soul of the beast you have exterminated. The tiger god's spirit continued to growl. Each word seemed to be engraved deeply into Hung's mind, creating an extreme fear. You will feel my pain, my longing, and the loneliness of an outcast.
You will gradually lose your humanity to become something you hate.
You have chosen this path, and you will pay the price. The curse was like a sharp knife stabbing straight into Hung's heart, making him tremble to the bone. Hung woke up with a start, covered in sweat, breathing heavily.
He tried to calm down, thinking it was just a bad dream, an illusion caused by fatigue and obsession. But then, he began to feel the change. At first, there were inexplicable aches and pains all over his body, as if something was stirring, growing inside.
Then the coarse hairs began to grow longer on his arms, on his back.
His fingernails became hard and sharp in a frightening way, curved like claws.
Hung's eyes became sharper in the dark. He could see the smallest details that he couldn't before. The craving for raw meat rose strongly, a primitive hunting instinct that he had never had.
He tried to resist, tried to hold on to his humanity, tried to talk, tried to think like a normal human. But as each day passed, his wild instincts took over.
Hung began to growl instead of speak, walk on all fours instead of two. He no longer recognized himself in puddles. The villagers began to fear Hung, avoiding him as a strange creature.
He became a haunting, a living warning. Eventually, Hung completely transformed into a tiger.
A huge, ferocious tiger with the sorrowful eyes of a human. He was no longer hung, nor was he completely the tiger god. He was a cursed creature, wandering the deep forest, forever torn between two identities, a human soul imprisoned in a beast's body. Hang's story became a tragic legend, a reminder of greed and unforeseeable consequences.
What is the lesson here? Perhaps never ignore the warnings of nature. Never think you can control your fate when you have done things against morality. Power is not something to be conquered, but something to be respected. And sometimes the price of greed is more terrible than death. If you find this story meaningful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel to support me.
Sincerely thank everyone.